welcome back to this episode of the Tripod of Accidents. On this episode, we'll be interviewing Lewis Rhodes.
Hello.
With me here today, I have Kyle Franco-Franta and Jorge, and myself, Katie Brown.
So we're going to start of my talking about the sport. Lewis, how long have you been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about 9 years now.
Cool. How long have you run the school program here at Lambrick?
Last year was our first year, so we're 2 years in at this point.
Yeah, okay. In my short time training with you, Lewis, I have noticed I prefer to watch
Rather than practice.
better than practice.
Rather than practice. Instead of.
Watch instead of practice. Do you prefer to learn or teach, and why?
I'm gaining an appreciation for coaching now. I mean, for the majority of my jiu-jitsu career, I've just been training myself, so it's enjoyable passing on the sport and then kind of problem solving on another level, teaching people, because when you teach, you have to really know what you're talking about. So I've really enjoyed that process.
So I've been with you for a couple months now, right? And I noticed that a lot of people fluctuate in and out. How do you stay motivated?
Yeah, it's a grind. I think like anything physically demanding, it's going to be hard to motivate yourself to get onto the mats to train. It's like anything, it's like a relationship in any respect. You're always going to have ups and downs, but at the end of the day, once you've experienced a little bit of success and you've experienced how fun it is and how good you feel after training, you kind of remember that in the back of your mind, and then that helps you get back to
So you're a brown belt now?
brown belt now.
How long did it take you to get there?
It took me about 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, it takes a while to get belts in the sport.
What's your favorite part of jiu-jitsu?
Definitely sparring, for sure. It's when you at the end of the class, when you've practiced your technique, you've done your warm-up, you're all ready to go, and then people, you get to actually kind of fight each other or play fight each other.
Yeah.
It's the most enjoyable part.
What's the worst injury you've ever witnessed?
Witnessed?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one. A couple dislocated shoulders, couple torn ligaments in knees. There's not a lot of head trauma in jiu-jitsu, which is nice. People don't get knocked out, but there's a lot of joint problems. So
A lot of people probably get choked out as well.
yeah, getting choked out is different than getting knocked out though. You don't
Yeah.
get concussed. You just chokes are just restricting the blood flow to your brain. So you
Yeah.
gently.
What's the worst injury you've had?
I have torn both the meniscus in my knees, and I've separated both shoulders at this point. So I've been pretty lucky, all things considered.
Do you think Jiu-Jitsu help people with problems?
For sure, yeah. No, I definitely think it has a kind of therapeutic aspect to it. I think doing anything challenging is really rewarding. So I think when you motivate yourself to do something physically difficult with friends on a regular basis, you're for sure going to feel better about your life.
What piqued your interest in wanting to do jiu-jitsu?
That's a good question. I always kind of did some kind of martial art. I did judo, and then when I was doing judo, a jiu-jitsu guy came to our gym to cross-train with us a little bit, and he absolutely destroyed me. So I was like, I need to go learn that, because that seems like a very effective martial art. And yeah, I never really looked back. I always roughhoused my brothers growing up. I had 2 older brothers who used to beat me up a lot, so...
Do you still continue judo, or is it only jiu-jitsu now?
Just jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Why?
Jiu-jitsu, it's kind of I got kind of getting nerdy and technical here, but judo is more throwing, and you start standing, you throw the person to the ground,
Yep.
whereas jiu-jitsu is more of like a chess match on the ground, so it's like it goes on for longer. It's more technical, whereas judo is like
It's a
more
lot
big
more
slam.
opportunities too.
What's that in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're already on the ground, you
Yes.
can go for back or side control
Yeah.
or whatever.
And it's less, as you get older, it's less impact on your body. You don't get thrown, gravity really has a detrimental effect on your body when you're falling through the air. You know, when you start on the ground, you have a lot less impact on your body than when you do something like judo or wrestling.
Do you have a favorite fighter of jiu-jitsu?
Mm.
Or in another sport of MMA?
Yeah, there's a couple greats that I'm a huge fan of. One that stands out is Marcelo Garcia, as he's supposed to be like the nicest guy in the entire world. He's a killer jiu-jitsu player, but also just like super humble, doesn't talk smack, doesn't do the Conor McGregor thing where, you know, has like over the top promotions. It's just a very humble, down to earth person.
And how many competence did you RB?
Was that
And how many competence
the
tournaments?
competitions?
Yeah.
How many have I done? Probably
Yeah.
like 10 to 15. I only compete like pretty recreationally, so I like I like the challenge of it, but it's not like my career or anything, so I usually just do 1 or 2 a year just to keep myself sharp and
Can you
motivated.
make money during jiu-jitsu?
Very little. It's as far as professional sports go, it's not very well remunerated. It's you can start your own gym if you're a decent competitor and a good coach, but even the highest levels of jiu-jitsu competitors are probably making like a few $100,000 a year. It's not like any other real team sports where you make millions.
If you have the option with fight with any fighter, do you like, which fighter do you take?
If I had to fight someone,
Sparring, not like fight, but it's like to learn about your favorite fighter or your
like
favorite partner.
they are your coach.
if I had to like the opportunity to fight a couple people,
Yeah.
yeah, Marcelo Garcia would be one for sure. Damian Maya. There's a couple. I mean, anyone who has like a really technical style, who's not, because you can in jiu-jitsu you can be like super physical and like aggressive with your style, or you can be really technical, and obviously you have to be both at the high levels. But I would like the people who use a lot of technique and not a lot of strength would be really fun to roll with, because that's the cool thing about jiu-jitsu is you get really small, not that physically impressive people beat up bigger people with their technique. So
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have, but we'll see you on the next episode.
sounds good.